Do you ever feel like you're completely alone, lost in a storm with no way out? I want to share a story with you today. A true story that shows how even in our darkest moments, we are never, ever abandoned. This story is about a man named John, a fisherman who had spent his entire life on the sea. The ocean was his friend, his livelihood, his home. One afternoon, a storm rolled in. Not just any storm, but a ferocious tempest that seemed to come out of nowhere. The sky turned black. The waves grew into monstrous walls of water, and John's small boat was tossed around like a toy. He fought with all his might, his hands raw from pulling ropes, his body aching from the relentless assault of the waves. Or spasset. The storm didn't let up. John was exhausted, his hope beginning to fade like the distant light of the shore. He sent a desperate prayer into the raging wind. God, if you're there, please, I can't do this anymore. Save me. Just as he whispered those words, a colossal wave crashed over his boat, splintering the wood and throwing him into the freezing, chaotic water. Everything went dark. He was sinking, the pressure building in his ears, his lungs screaming for air. This is it, he thought. This is the end. But then, a strange peace washed over him. He felt a gentle lift, a force pushing him upward. He broke the surface, gasping for air, and found himself clinging to a large piece of his shattered boat. The storm was still raging, but he was alive. He was floating. For what felt like an eternity, John drifted on that piece of wreckage. He was cold, hungry, and utterly alone in the vast, angry ocean. He prayed continuously, not for a grand rescue, but just for the strength to hold on for one more minute. He talked to God like an old friend, sharing his fears, his regrets, and his small, flickering hope. As dawn broke, the storm finally began to subside. The waves softened, and the sky slowly lightened to a gentle gray. John, weak but conscious, scanned the horizon. And there, in the distance, was a tiny speck. Voici? A bird? A trick of his tired eyes. As it grew larger, his heart leaped. It was a boat. Another fishing vessel, far off its usual course, had come to check its lines after the storm. The crew pulled him aboard, wrapped him in warm blankets, and gave him water. The captain looked at him with wide, astonished eyes. "We've never come this far out," he said, shaking his head. "Something just told me we had to check this one spot today. It made no sense, but I had this feeling I couldn't ignore." John just smiled, tears streaming down his face. He knew what that feeling was. It was the answer to his prayer. It was the hand of God, reaching across the vast, stormy ocean to pull his child from the depths. He had lost his boat, his livelihood, everything he owned. But in that moment, he had gained something far more precious: the unshakable certainty that he was not alone. John's story isn't just about surviving a storm. It's a powerful reminder for all of us. When you feel like you're sinking, when the waves of life are crashing over you and your hope is almost gone, remember John. Cry out. Hold on. Because the God who calmed the seas and guided a rescue boat to a lone survivor in the middle of the ocean is the same God watching over you. He will never ever abandon his children. He may not calm the storm immediately, but he will give you a piece of wreckage to cling to, and he will guide a rescue to you in his perfect time. Thank you for listening. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of hope and faith. We'll see you next time.